This is Homer Simpson, the guy who once ate a 10-pound bag of flour because he thought it was sugar. And this is Homer Simpson, getting run over by a baby on a tricycle in a completely different show.
Hey, Stewie, what the hell is that?
The Simpsons have been hiding in more cartoons than you'd think, and some of these are buried deep. So how many shows is Springfield's most dysfunctional family hiding in? Let's find out. Starting with Family Guy. Now everyone knows about the crossover episode, The Simpsons Guy. Peter and the family end up in Springfield. Homer and Peter get into a fist fight. The whole thing. You've seen it. But what most people don't realize is just how many times the Simpsons have snuck into Quahog outside of that episode. And some of them are wild. In The Juice is Loose, Peter befriends O.J. Simpson and brings him to Quahog, and the whole town wants O.J. gone. Mayor Adam West stands up and tells Simpson,
"We don't want you in our town, Simpson. We don't love you like we did in 1993. No!"
And the whole joke is that the name Simpson means something very different depending on which one you're looking at. Very on brand for Family Guy. Then there's the opening for PTV, which starts as a Naked Gun parody. Stewie's riding his tricycle through movie scenes, video game levels, the whole thing. Looks like a tribute to the Naked Gun and nothing else, until he pulls into a familiar-looking garage and runs over Homer Simpson.
Hey, Stewie, what the hell is that?
But the smaller ones hit just as hard. In New Kidney in Town, Peter's face turns yellow, and he casually says,
"Like I could go another 20 years or more."
In Mother Tucker, Stewie does a Butterfinger commercial parody, mimicking Bart's catchphrase and throwing in a dough at the end. Because if you grew up in the 90s, you remember Bart Simpson selling Butterfingers like his life depended on it. But Family Guy is far from the only adult cartoon that's borrowed from Springfield. South Park dedicated an entire episode to The Simpsons. The whole premise of The Simpsons Already Did It is that Butters keeps coming up with evil schemes, and every single time, someone tells him The Simpsons beat him to it.
They did that on The Simpsons. I think it was the Mr. Burns character. He tried to block Springfield from the sun.
Oh, heck, I thought I was being original.
Every plan, every idea, every scheme, already done, already aired, years ago. It gets into Butters' head so badly that he starts hallucinating. He looks at his friend Dougie and sees Bart Simpson staring back at him. Everyone in South Park starts morphing into Simpsons characters in his mind, and the kid completely loses it. The whole episode is basically Trey Parker and Matt Stone admitting that The Simpsons did everything first, and there's nothing anyone can do about it, which is honestly one of the greatest backhanded compliments in television history. Bart shows up again in Cartoon Wars Part 2, and this time he's not a hallucination. He physically appears in South Park, teams up with Cartman, and the two of them try to get Family Guy canceled. Bart Simpson and Eric Cartman working together. That sentence alone should tell you how chaotic that episode gets. Moving on to Rick and Morty. In the couch gag for Mathlete's Feet, Rick and Morty crash straight through the wall of 742 Evergreen Terrace in a space cruiser and land on the Simpson family. All 5 of them, dead on impact. Morty immediately panics. He's staring at the bodies. He's freaking out. Rick scoops up the remains, hands Morty the family portrait, and sends him through a portal to some alien dimension to clone them. And while Morty's gone, Rick walks around the house, eats their food, drinks Homer's beer, and generally treats the Simpson home like a rest stop. Peak Rick behavior. That couch gag was animated by the Rick and Morty team, and it's one of the more brutal crossover moments in either show's history. Outside of that, there's a background character wearing a Bart Simpson t-shirt in one episode, and a blink and you miss it visual nod to Moe's Tavern in Vat of Acid. Small, but they're there. If you're enjoying this, do me a favor and hit subscribe. Most people watching this channel aren't subscribed yet. Anyway, now Futurama and The Simpsons share the same creator, so you'd expect a few nods. But The Simpsons references buried inside Futurama go way beyond a few. In the very first episode, Space Pilot 3000, the camera passes through the New York tubeways, and there's Blinky, the three-eyed fish from Springfield, swimming in the water around the Statue of Liberty. The show hadn't even established itself yet, and it was already hiding Simpsons Easter eggs in the background. Then, in a big piece of garbage, Fry stumbles across a pile of discarded Bart Simpson dolls in a garbage heap.
Eat my shorts.
Okay. Shorts.
A few episodes later in Mars University, Homer and Bart show up again as carnival prizes at a Coney Island game. The Simpsons are literally scattered across the Futurama timeline as relics and toys. But the best one might be the tip of the Zoidberg. Fry catches a disease called Simpsons jaundice. His skin turns yellow. He looks down at himself and says,
Ay caramba!
The man is 1,000 years in the future, and the Simpsons are still getting people. And it kept going in the newer seasons. In season 11, Leela gives Nibbler a Bart Simpson plushie as a chew toy. In season 12's Cuteness Overload, a hologram of Bart shows up and the show openly pokes fun at why Simpsons characters are yellow when Futurama characters aren't, even though they're supposed to share a universe. Speaking of shows connected to The Simpsons through their creators, American Dad isn't shy about borrowing from Springfield, and one reference in particular goes hard. In Faking Bad, Steve Smith is running a fake ID operation, and one of his customers is Bart Simpson.
Next ID is ready. Mike Crotch? I'm looking for Mike Crotch.
If you've ever watched Bart prank call Moe's Tavern, you know exactly where that name comes from. Then there's 100 AD, where Roger is hosting some big event and genuinely believes he's been asked to host Who Shot Mr. Burns.
No, tonight we're gonna find out who shot Mr. Burns. What? 15 years ago? Who was it? Really? The baby?
The disappointment is real. And in the longest distance relationship, Jeff and Sinbad are traveling through a wormhole, and their art style keeps shifting as they pass through different universes. For a few frames, they're drawn in full Simpsons style. Blink and you miss it, but it's there. From one Seth MacFarlane show to another, Cleveland's show is underrated, and it had its own Simpsons moment. In Hot Cocoa Bang Bang, comic book guy from The Simpsons walks up to Cleveland's booth at a comic convention, reads his comic, and delivers the one line you'd expect from him.
Worst cameo ever.
Peak comic book guy. The man crossed universes just to be disappointed. And in Harder, Better, Faster, Browner, a music chart shows Cleveland's new track climbing the rankings. And sitting right there on the same chart are Simpsons songs, Springfield's greatest hits competing with Cleveland Brown for chart position. That tracks. Robot Chicken and The Simpsons collaborated on a full couch gag, and it's one of the weirder ones. Homer notices the family's sailboat painting is missing from behind the couch. Bart suggests
Maybe another animated show stole it.
Homer takes this personally and leaves the Simpsons set entirely. He walks straight into what is very clearly a South Park scene, where 4 little kids immediately start swearing at him. No painting there. He moves on to a California Raisins commercial, which turns weirdly violent. And finally, he finds the thief, the Robot Chicken nerd, sitting there watching the previous Simpsons/Robot Chicken crossover with the stolen painting on his wall. Homer takes it back. The Amazing World of Gumball has 2 Simpsons nods that are easy to miss if you're not looking. In The Copycats, Richard Watterson does the Homer drool.
Exotic food.
The same slack-jawed delivery. It's a one-to-one recreation of Homer's most iconic sound effect, just coming out of a big pink rabbit. And in The X, Gumball drops a clean
Ay caramba.
right in the middle of a scene. No context, no setup. Just Bart's catchphrase living rent-free in another cartoon. Now we're getting into the ones most people have no idea about. In Animaniacs, during the musical number, You Gotta Do the Schmooze, Dot Warner is bragging about all her Hollywood connections. She claims she's the one who suggested they call the eldest Simpson child Bart. And right as she says it, a familiar spiky hairdo walks across the screen. They drew him with 8 spikes instead of 9 to dodge the copyright, but everyone knew exactly who that was. Then there's the 2022 Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie, which is set in a world where cartoon characters live alongside real people. There's an underground black market for bootleg cartoons, and right there on a movie set are bootleg Homer and Bart. They're drawn in the old Tracy Ullman Show style, all rough and janky. The Simpsons didn't just infiltrate other TV shows, they escaped television entirely and ended up in a movie about cartoon crime. But the one that might surprise people the most is Bluey. The official Bluey YouTube channel uploaded a video called Bluey Meets The Simpsons. It's a full stop-motion recreation of The Simpsons opening sequence, only with Bluey toys. And The Simpsons return the nod in May the 12th Be With You, a Disney Plus Mother's Day short where Marge teams up with mothers from across the Disney universe. Chili, Bluey, and Bingo show up alongside dozens of other characters, but the fact that they're in there at all is what matters. Think about that for a second. The Simpsons premiered in 1989. Bluey premiered in 2018. Nearly 30 years apart, completely different countries, completely different audiences, and somehow the two shows found each other. If you made it this far, you're the reason this channel exists. My goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and right now, every single sub counts. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.